Woodruff Woods. Hey, this morning I've got a great opportunity for my firewood business. I'm going to meet with a hardware store, actually possibly a number of them, and they're actually owned by the same company that owns a bunch of supermarkets. So this is kind of my first real opportunity to tackle a bigger account than I normally do. So we're gonna lay down a good sales pitch, see what happens. One thing I am concerned about is with a real full-time job and then some, you know, if I can keep up with the demand they have. So that's going to be an important decision point for me of how much wood they will use in a month or week or whatever, and can I support that. But we're going to figure out all those details, and I'll report back on how we did. What I'm doing is I'm wrapping this pallet. My newest customer requires them to be on pallets, and I don't know, last night there must have been animals crawling on it or something, but knocked it all to pieces, and it wasn't stacked on there real well, I don't think. And so this morning I'm fixing that up. I'm gonna wrap this down low so we can stack on top of it. And there we go. That's 40 bundles here. I gotta make 20 more. I'm gonna get busy. I think it's time to get the truck. I'll bring that back here somewhere where I can load this pallet, and then we'll take the last few and we'll stack them in the truck, because I don't think I can lift 60 bundles with my tractor. I just don't know, but if I do the math right, that's probably about a tote and a half, and that'd be pushing the limits of my tractor. So I'm gonna load this one first. Here it is. Fully packaged wrap pallet of 60 bundles, headed out to my new account. I'm gonna get that up here this morning. Starting to get pretty warm out, so I'm kind of glad to have this off my plate. So anyway, gonna go in, write up an invoice, and get this delivered. So in a recent video I mentioned that I didn't have a scrunch with me, ran this chain when it was loose, and I had a problem with some of the teeth sliding to the bar. So I thought I'd show you how I fix this. It's actually a pretty simple process. What I do, I have an extra bar here. I could have done this on the chainsaw, but you know, I'd already taken it off, so this is easier. Obviously not the right size bar for this chain. Anyway, I like to move it through, and then where I start to feel some resistance, or I see the teeth hanging up, so I'm feeling a little, nope. So I thought I was feeling some resistance there, I wasn't. But so this is what typically will happen. So what I do is I mark these teeth that do not want to go down in and ride in the bar. So I'll mark the top of each tooth, and then I'll actually lift it up, put some marks on here as well. And we'll do that one too. So it looks like about 4 teeth. So anyway, it appears that's the only ones. So what I'll do is I'll, now I'm finding a
possibly another one. And it's actually the same ones. So I've kind of isolated this to those particular teeth. And so I'm going to pull this up out of here. Actually, I need to loosen my vise. And we'll get rid of the bar. And since I'm here in the shop, I could really use a sander to do this, but to show how I do it out in the field, I think is a more useful demonstration. So I will take a file, just any one that I grabbed, and I'll find those teeth that are marked, and I can see the burrs on them, so I'll just knock those off. Unfortunately, for demonstration purposes, this is a little harder than it would be if I just laid it down on something. So you could use just, what you file your rakers off with, or in a pinch, I suppose you could even just use your regular file to sharpen your chain. You're just trying to take a little bit of this off. I see I have a kind of a stubborn burr on this one. So I'll give this one a little pressure as Now this one's probably the one that's causing the most amount of problem, is my guess. And actually, let me see if I can try to show you. If you look right there at the tip, you can see there's a little burr. You can feel it better than you can see it. So what I'll do is I'll hit that with the file as well. Get that little burr off of there. I mean, you have to figure you're only running... Your chain runs in a slot, in this case a 0.050 slot, so that's 50 thousandths. And a little burr like that, the tolerancing wouldn't allow that to slide through. So I'm gonna have to lay this flat, unfortunately. I believe I'll do it up here on this, where I like to get the chain out of the way, so I'm just exposing kind of the teeth I need to work on. There we go. I'm not sure you can see, so let me reposition the camera and show you exactly what I'm doing. That should give you a better vantage point. Now I have to find my... Okay, so here are the ones that are in question. And always run your file in the same direction. It's another key tip. You just dull your file if you pull the back and forth trick. And honestly, if this chain was older, I probably wouldn't go through this trouble. But I'll show you here in a minute. There's a lot of tooth left on this chain and a lot of rounds of wood that can be cut with it. Okay, so we've done that. We're going to put it back on our bar. So we'll start it up here by the sprocket. And if it falls in, we've done a good job. And it does. So unfortunately, I got the chain all tangled, which doesn't happen now that I bought the chain locker, but you can see that that does flow through there freely. I'm gonna shut the camera off. I'll set this back up in the vise so that you can see it rotate through. And it's also a good way for me to double check my work here, make sure that I've done this right. And I got to sort out that mess. So we're back in business here. These are, as you can probably see my black marks here. This was the area that was riding up out of the groove of the chain. We'll just run this back through, make sure we're flowing freely, and we are. So we repaired the chain. That one wasn't actually too bad, but you can see there's a lot of tooth left on this particular chain, and there was no sense in throwing it out. And you saw it only took me a few minutes just to knock those little burrs off. So this will be ready to go back on the saw and cut some wood.